It's 5 months until launch. The rovers are almost ready to go, the hardware at least. The software is another story.
The software for launch, cruise, entry, descent, and landing, getting down on the surface, that is in good shape. But the software for driving around on the surface and doing the science is still kind of shaky right now.
There simply isn't enough time to teach the rover everything it needs to know before launch. So they'll keep working on the software and then reprogram the computers by radio when the rovers are on their way to Mars.
You can send the vehicle and then you can launch the software off into space 6 months later.
The engineers are doing all they can, but soon their rover will be on its own.
I hope it's not a rebellious teenager. And I'm hoping that the environment we put it in challenges it, because that challenges us, but doesn't challenge it too much.
Three months before launch, the rovers are on their way to Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It's the first leg of a journey that will end on Mars. At the launch pad, preparations are underway. The engineers carefully inspect the rovers one last time, and they find a problem. A faulty circuit board inside both rovers. To replace them, they must open the solar panels by firing explosive fasteners called pyros, of which there are dozens on each rover.
The rover solar arrays were already fastened together. Everything was all fastened up tight. We were ready for launch. We had to open them up again. The only way to do it was by actually firing live pyros. Bang, bang, bang.
With the panels open, the problem is easily fixed. New boards go in, the panels are closed up again and secured with fresh pyros. But just 3 weeks before launch, the engineers discover that pyros can sometimes short-circuit when fired. And a short might have overheated components called resistors in the pyro-firing circuits, compromising their ability to fire pyros on Mars.
What we're worried about is the possibility that these resistors could have been heated to the point where they have been destroyed. And next time we use them at Mars, they might not work. And we have no way of getting at them and testing them. The rover is ready to go to the launch pad. It would take weeks to take the thing apart. And it would blow our schedule. We wouldn't be able to launch. This could threaten the whole mission. I mean, these things could, the rovers could end up in the Air and Space Museum over this. Okay, if we're not able to launch these things now, it may not make sense to ever fly them.
The only way to prove that the rovers are okay is to test all the pyros that were ever fired and see if any of them has a short circuit.
If it's not shorted out, pyro's fine. You're ready to fly. If you find it and it's got a short circuit in it, then you've got trouble.
The problem is, no one expected to need those fired pyros again. Now, they have to find them.
And so there was this treasure hunt. And people are going in bags and shelves and pulling things apart. And gradually, piece by piece, they were found. The last one, the critical one that we needed to prove that we were really okay, was found yesterday. 3 days before launch, and we're still sweating these resistors. It was awful.
On June 10th, rover number 1 is finally cleared for launch. And it now has a name, Spirit. The landing team has delivered what the scientists asked for, a system capable of handling Gusev Crater, the site chosen for Spirit by NASA Associate Administrator Ed Weiler.
being the end of the food chain on this thing and being the one, if something goes wrong, is the one ultimately going to have to explain to Congress why it went wrong. You know, that's one of the honors of being an associate administrator. It's a scary mission. There's an awful lot of things that have to work just right, and the entry and the descent and the landing are the ones that really worry me. If we get on Mars and get that thing moving, I think we'll be just fine.
I'm not nervous, man. I'm ready to fly. It's been a long time coming. Today's the day. We're heading to Mars. Maybe today, maybe a few days, depending on what the weather does to us. But it's time to fly.
CLTDR, LC-17A, launch enable, planet lock, ATC-3, main power disable on.
I'd like to tease the trunk. Call AAA.
ATC-3, main power disable on. On, there's 5 seconds.
T-minus 15.
Electronics go. And hydraulics go.
Gotta remember to breathe. Gotta remember to breathe. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, green board, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engine start, and lift off of the Delta II rocket carrying the Spirit from Earth to planet Mars.
Beautiful! Yes! Come on! All right! Come on, baby! Keep going! Look up there!
All 6 solids, and we've ignited the other 3. All 3 air starts are up and running, ramping up to their peak thrust. NSC, report spacecraft go.
A month later, it's a night launch for Rover number 2, now called Opportunity. A series of problems with the rocket has consumed almost 2 weeks of the launch window. Only 1 week remains, after which Mars will be out of reach for another 2 years. But tonight, everything looks good. Bagpipers from Cornell will provide a musical send-off.
Don't worry, you'll see it.
Yeah.
We're just about ready.
35 seconds. Electronics go. Hydraulics go. Pressurizer. 5 mils.
This is it.
Green board here in the mission.
For Steve and his family, it's been a long wait.
Go for a launch in 20 seconds.
20 seconds!
15 seconds. Hold. We've had a hold.
Hold!
We've had a cutoff.
Hold! 15 seconds.
We're going into recycle.
And the clock is stopped.
A glitch in the fuel system stops the countdown. Armed for launch, the rocket is now literally a bomb.
Prop 1, secure water flow. Closed. Prop 2, PSD purge, press closed. Closed. Hydraulic external power off.
Off.
Over several very long minutes, the launch crew manages to pull it back from the brink.
7 seconds.
NSC initiates.
The fuel problem is also resolved, and a half hour later, they're ready to try again.
I was so sure last time. I don't know what to think this time.
Yeah, right.
T-minus 10.
10, 9,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4. Here we go.
3, 2,
Here we go.
main
Here we
engine
go.
start,
God.
0, and liftoff of the Delta rocket with Opportunity.
Come on, baby. God. Listen for it. It's hard to say goodbye I'll see him again in pictures. But I'm never going to lay my eyes on it again. But hey, they got to do what they got to do.